Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to try to tackle Vaporwave. Vaporwave itself is a form of synthwave, but it seems to have took its own sort of following, and there is many different types of Vaporwave out there. Listening to quite a lot of tracks lately, I did ask you guys on Discord to drop me some tracks that you like. A couple of guys were really helpful, sending me some links to some stuff that I listen to. So I'm going to give you my take on Vaporwave here. I'm going to quickly play through a track that I've made. I'll talk through it and I'll try to pick out some of the key elements that I think make Vaporwave sort of slightly different from sort of synthwave. So I'll play through the demo and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so there's a quick playthrough of the track itself. So yeah, it's very relaxing sort of stuff, isn't it? Really, I think Vaporwave, there's not a lot of pace really in any of the tracks that I've listened to anywhere. So I'm going to go through the track, what I've done, and I'm going to give you a couple of things that I've sort of found out whilst listening to this sort of genre. So we'll just go through the drums first of all. So we have the kick has nothing on it; it's just a sort of basic kick. There we go. Again, the snare, we've got 2 snares playing here. A low snare and a high snare. They're going to this. We've cut low end out of this, boosted highs, bit of reverb on there, and a bit of OTT just for a bit of crunch on it. So this is a kick and snare. And then we have these sort of hits. And they're going to track 7. And on here we have some reverb, low end, boosted a bit of high end off there. And again, we've added an OTT to make it nice and crisp to make sure that they're coming through. Then we have this sort of shaker riff going to the same. And then some closed hi-hats, again, just playing very, very basic pattern there. So there's a lot of reverb and stuff going on in there because of the fact that the tempo is very slow, the drum beat's very slow. There's plenty of room there to fill the gaps with reverb and delay and stuff like that. So feel free to pan your sounds and plenty of reverb and stuff in the drums. So then we move on to the sort of pad sound we've got going here. And this is just a pad sound that I created from scratch. It's just a very basic pad sound, 7 voices, detuned slightly. And then what we've done with this is we've set up an LFO so that the pitch is moving. It's moving quite a lot, and that's one of the things I've noticed in Vaporwave, is that the instruments, they tend to move a lot. The pitch tends to move a lot. It's almost as if you're listening to them on an old like Walkman where the batteries are running out, and because the batteries are running out, the wheels aren't turning fast enough, or sometimes they turn too fast, and it's changing the pitch of the track. And then I've got this filter going on here as well, bringing it up. But what I've also got here is I'm automating the LFO as well, so that just towards the end of it, it automates the pitch a lot, and it gives it a real sort of wishy-washy sound, like it's like something's happening to the pitch. And then we go back into the sort of bass again, and then we have this sort of bell sound. And again, all we've done with this sort of bell sound, let's have a look. So this bell sound was taken from, I think, one of the Road to Arcadia Diamond series, which you can grab this bank over on the Patch Bay. I'll leave a link in the description. You'll be able to go over and grab this bank over on the Patch Bay. And this is, and all I've done with this again is straight in and automated the pitch of it. So how have I done that on this? So I've gone into LFO, I've clicked this amp, and I've gone change this to pitch. So this is now automating the, not actually, sorry, this one, this LFO here. So I've gone in and changed the pitch. So it's now automating the pitch, and I've added, obviously, some movement so that it's moving. If we take it off and you can listen to it. And again, it's just playing a very, very simple pattern, same notes playing over and over, just a nice sort of dreamy sound with plenty of pitch movement as well. And that's, again, that's one of the key things to Vaporwave, is keep the pitch movement going. And then we have a basic bass sound. which is another sound I've created. You can copy these settings if you want here, and this will give you the exact sort of sound. And then we have Rhodes. So we've added some of these Rhodes from Expand. Now what I've actually done with this, as you can see here, if we go into this, I've actually moved the start of the notes so they're not, it's not hitting. This makes it more organic. Like the notes aren't hitting all together. It's if you're playing it by hand. Obviously, once you hit 4 notes together with your fingers, it's more than likely that they're not gonna play all together. And this is one where you can get that sort of organic sort of sound, is to just move the notes ever slightly forward. I've done that right throughout. Now another thing that I've actually done with the Rhodes as well is I've actually moved them forward, the sample ever so slightly forward, so they're actually playing before. So some of the notes will hit before the actual bar comes in, to give it, like I said, it's all about real organic feeling, and when we do that we get this sort of effect. You can very, very, very lightly hear the notes hitting slightly before, and it gives it, like I said, it gives it more of an organic effect, which is really what you're going for. I've also got this atmosphere pad from Hybrid. So that the bass, sorry, has a bit of an OTT on it. I forgot to go through these. The pad has some EQ on it and has a compressor, because obviously we're messing around with the cutoff filter. We want to make sure that it's nice and tight. I have done a couple of tutorials on compression pads previous. Yeah, so then there's nothing on that. I've also got this little synth sound in. At the time I thought it was good. Listening back to it, not too sure. I mean, you can be the judge. I don't think it sounds the greatest. Just have something in there just to keep it sort of moving along. What I've also got is this slow arp as well, sort of building up. So we're automating the pitch, sorry, the cutoff. And again, we've left this nice and long, we've left it nice and open. What we've also done is we've added some LFO, so we've got the pitch moving again. So with the pitch, without the pitch. And we just have that building up and then stopping, and then building up and stopping. For the effects, we just got this hit, this like crash, sort of sub hit. And again, we have the trusty reverse crash. It doesn't matter if any, I mean, I use this all the time. I know some people have said about it, but I use this all the time. And the reason being, I mean, it sounds good no matter what genre you're making. It doesn't matter if you're making synthwave, vaporwave, or whether you're fighting in a Red Bull can. You know, this sounds good. You know, there's no point messing around and finding other sort of stuff. And I mean, it's just there to create a bit of atmosphere. It's not really there. It's not standing out that much, really. So that's basically it now. The last thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to Vaporwave is, of course, the sort of grittiness of it and the noise and stuff that you can get in the background. There's a couple of different ways you can do that, and the way I've chosen to do this is just a crackle from a vinyl. You can YouTube these. You can search for them on Google. I have a sample pack which includes a lot of stuff like this as well, and you're just looking something in the background to give it a bit of grit. So this I've just gone for a record crackle. And just left it as like that. Other things you can do is, for example, you can get white noise, you can get record hum, anything like that, just to give it a bit of grit, a bit of texture, or pink noise, or anything like that, and just add it in and have it playing in the background. Keep it playing in the background. It just gives it a bit more of an old sort of feel to it. I mean, you can hear it when it first comes in, but when it gets into the track more, it sort of blends into the background a lot more. Yeah, so that's about it really. All we've got really with the pad is just playing 2 notes. Like I said, it's very simple, very basic. And again, like, so the key elements looking into Vaporwave are pitch movement, plenty of reverb, because there's a lot of instruments, a lot of space, so there's plenty of Plenty of room to add reverb and stuff in. Without reverb, this track would sound absolutely terrible. So plenty of reverb on your drums, plenty of movement with pitch and cut off on the instruments. As you can tell, that all the instruments have some sort of pitch movement in them. Sometimes it gets, you know, it's alleviated more than others. And I've got this little ARP thing at the end. I mean, I'm not too keen on this. It's again, there's a bit of movement in there as well, but that's something that I just put on at the end, listening back to it now again, because I did this track like a week ago. Listening back, I'm not too keen on it, but, you know, hey, what can you do? I'm not too keen on that art part, but never mind, I might change it later on. But that's about it, guys, for this video. I hope you've took some, like I said, there's many different types of Vaporwave out there. I've heard Vaporwave that's a bit faster, a bit grittier, a bit harder. This is the couple of tracks that I've listened to was on this sort of vibe. So I can, if you want me to do more Vaporwave tutorials or more Vaporwave tracks, I can sort of look into the genre a bit more. If you want to fire your favourite Vaporwave tracks over to me or on Discord or in the comments below, feel free to do so. And if they vary from this sort of style of Vaporwave, I'll certainly look at making different Vaporwave tutorials in the future. But for now, guys, that's about it. Thanks for watching.